Welcome back to another episode of the Purple Charm Experience. I am your host, Shamara E. Fleming, but you can call me M.A.I. This episode of Doc Life, today we're talking about discipline, the kind you need when you're building something big. So, as you know, I like to kick off the episode with a motivational quote, and today's quote is unknown, comes from an unknown source. But it states discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. This one hits home because, for me, when working on this dissertation, of course, writing books and trying to maintain my sanity, it becomes less about punishment and more about alignment. And it's remembering when the work feels heavy. A lot of times in this process of the doctoral journey, you feel the pressures of the work, and of life pulling at you. So it is this quote reminds us to remember having that discipline, having the ability to buckle down and do what you want in the moment for what you want most over, what you want now. Like sometimes, some days, I want to just veg out, chill on the couch, watch TV, hang out with my family and friends. One of the things I love to do in my spare time is line dance. There are many days I would rather just go to a line dancing event and hang out with my line dance family, even though I have a lot of making up to do in terms of learning dances, but I still like to go and chill with people that I know. And I call them my extended family because these people have been in my life for, at least 10 years now. And so even though that's something I want now, the thing that I want most is to be accomplished, to, go after my goals in life and achieve them with fervor, and not just doing it for the sake of doing it, but doing it because this is something I've really wanted for a long time. Sometimes having that discipline to choose what you want most over what you want now, it takes some focus. It takes perseverance. It takes you buckling down and getting into it and knowing that, eventually there will be times for you to do the things that you want to do. It's just you can't do them right now. So having that ability to let go of the now so that you can get to what you want most is the most important. And so I hope that one, brings it home for you today, in case you might be working to something that you really want most, and you're having to choose from what you want most over what you want now. Just know that your now is not the last time that you'll get the opportunity to do what it is that you want to do now. It just might mean that you have to put it off for a little bit before, so that you can do what you want to do to accomplish what you want most. Our sip of the week. This week, I am sipping on a bold, rich coffee blend because discipline requires energy, focus, and sometimes a little caffeine. And if you want to know more about what that blend is, check out my full review on my socials. Now, the main topic that we're jumping into on this episode is that I've had to create a rhythm that works for me. Dedicated writing blocks, realistic goals, grace for the days when life wins, and discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent enough to make progress. And I say that because I'm a person who needs structure. When I wrote the Purple Charm series, the first book, it took me about a year and a half, 2 years to write the first book. When I wrote the second one, I did it in 17 writing days over a 30-day period, literally over a 30-day period, right after I completed The Violet Rose. I did Three's a Charm. And for me, having dedicated time for me to write is important for my discipline, to be able to show up for myself as a doctoral student and as an indie author. As a doctoral student, my writing time, I've had to spend that time on the weekends, on Sunday afternoon. A lot of times I go to the library and study with my cohort mates. There's is 11 of us total in my cohort. Um, three of us get together on Sundays, and we call ourselves a Trinity. And because of them, I've been able to show up and be accountable to myself. Not because I can't do it on my own, but because it feels good when you have the support of other people who knows what you're going through to help you get there. And so, like I said, I have not been perfect in this process, but I have had the discipline to be consistent to make progress. And so that's what I want to leave with you today is that, find those moments and that time to build the dedication for you to be disciplined to do the work that you need to do. And don't worry about being perfect at doing it. Just be consistent in your approach to getting it work done. I want to also leave you with a little bit of insight. Recently, I have been toying with the idea of writing a nonfiction book to also talk about some of the peaks and valleys of this doctoral journey, particularly in terms of trying to do the research that I'm working on. And I've wanted to do that because I feel like there needs to be a discussion about that. Someone needs to talk about, and I don't care who, but I want to share my journey because there's more to just getting the degree. There is a lot of work and a lot of preparation that goes into it. And I realized it was one of the first time in a long time that I've sat down and went blank, had writer's block, and stared at the same paragraph for a long period of time, wanting to just, what am I going to say? And of course, there's so much that I can say and so much that I want to say, but how do I do it in such a way that is cognizant of the people who are involved in the process of helping me get to the end goal of my dissertation? And how do I manage writing about a process that is so intensive? It takes a lot to do this work. And there are times that I just wanted to just say, you know what, I'm gonna throw in the towel. I can't do this. But I had to remind myself that getting this degree is bigger than this moment. You know, through this program and this, process and the outcomes of the findings that I get from my research, I am hoping that it brings about positive conversation around Black buying power. It also brings about positive conversation about African American women and our collective economic power in terms of how we navigate the beauty industry. And so I've realized the story needs to be told, but I have to be true to it. I have to be authentic, not only to myself, but to my people. And so I took a breath. I always I took a sip, my sip, and I kept going. I'm still working on the introduction to this book. And of course it's it's a work in progress, but at least that one little paragraph that I was working on for my intro has turned into a full page. And my goal is to do like I did for my second book, which is to write 2,500 words a day. Hopefully, I could do that to bring forth a nonfiction book, something that I've wanted to write. I've written a short ebook in the past. It's called My Passion is My Empire. And it talks about the mindset and the framework of, going after, tracing your dream and going after your passion and how to do it and how I've been able to do it using my as my framework, motivate, aspire, inspire as my framework. So I hope that, that little bit of insight gives you, some encouragement and a little bit of, you know, information on how I have had to, buckle down and find the discipline and the strength to be able to push through those moments when I feel like I have writer's block and like I don't know if I could do it. I may not even fully trust myself, but I know I can, and I know I have the ability to. It's just doing the work, being disciplined enough to be able to get it done. And so, as we close, I want to share with you the Prince factoid for this episode. I always like to share a little bit of history about him because he is my favorite musician. And if you can see, I have this section up here is my Prince section. I have a lot more that I need to get, but that is just a little taste of my Prince section. So I wanted to share that Prince has always been known for recording multiple albums at once, literally jumping from one project to another with laser focus. His discipline wasn't rigid, it was fueled by passion. And that's the model that I'm following. He has always been a person who, had a strict policy for being disciplined, being on time, working very hard to be good at your craft, always a student of his craft. And so I try to make sure that I'm modeling that. And I hope that, his the life that he lived and the discipline that he displayed through his work shows you how you can model some of that energy and some of those qualities in yourself. So thanks for spending this moment with me. If you're working towards something big, I see you. Keep choosing what you want most and stay purple and stay creative and do the doggone thing, y'all. Do it. Stay disciplined. Do the work. And I'll see you next time. Peace.